It's now my great honor to introduce Judge Darren Farfante, who has been a steadfast supporter of access to justice across the state and also legal services. He was appointed to the Circuit Court for the 13th Judicial Circuit by Governor Rick Scott in 2017, and over the last 8 years, he has held appointments in the Family Law Division, more recently in the Complex Business Litigation Division, where he also administers the specialized tobacco and asbestos litigation. Judge Farfante has chaired the 13th Judicial Circuit's Pro Bono Committee, which provides oversight and direction of pro bono legal services for indigent in Hillsborough County, as well as the Circuit's Professionalism Committee. Prior to joining the bench, he practiced law with Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney, and previously served as a trial attorney for the Department of Justice's Tax Division. He's a quadruple Gator, receiving his bachelor's, Master of Law, Master of Accountancy, and law degree from the University of Florida. Thank you for joining us today, Judge Farfante.
Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me the privilege to join you today. Selfishly, I'm looking forward to the forum because I learned so much at these events and meeting as many of you as possible. I know I have a lot of familiar faces out in the crowd, and I'll tell you, I think there's a funny Janet Reno story. Since you mentioned Janet Reno, I have to say it. So I started my career at the Justice Department. My dear mother, she swore that I worked right outside Janet Reno's office, and I was at a table, and I would just pass her every day as she walked in and out of the office. And so my parents were out at lunch one day, and Janet Reno was in Tampa, and my mother walked right up to Janet Reno, past whatever security detail there was, and she says, "My son works for you." And so I'm sitting at my desk in Washington, and I get a phone call from my mom, so I pick it up. My mom, of course, "Are you busy?" And I said, "No, Mom, what's going on?" She says, "Hold on." And she puts Janet Reno on the phone with me, and this is a true story. Janet Reno says, "Darren, do you have that memo that I asked you to work on?" And she said, "Just have it on my desk when I get back to Washington." So I thought that was very funny. My mother loves that story. But I really enjoy this role. So I have to tell you, as chair, I'm the current chair of the Pro Bono Committee, as was mentioned. Judge Wendy DePaul is the vice chair. She'll be taking over. I've had the privilege of serving in this capacity. I always start when I'm speaking about issues or CLE that I don't speak for all the judges, but I can safely tell you and confidently tell you right now that I will speak for all the judges that I work with when I say that the presence of pro bono attorneys in our courtrooms and the assistance that you provide is a welcomed sight and something that we cherish. I was in the family division for a few years before I took my current assignment in the business court. And I know a lot of you do a lot of work in the family division here in the 13th Judicial Circuit. And those cases, as you all know, do not go away. And so when you invest yourselves in some of these cases and they take on whatever life they take on for years and years, you are investing yourself. It's a commitment, and we certainly appreciate it. And it does not go unnoticed. Hopefully in my role as chair of the Pro Bono Committee, we can take steps. I know we've been talking to the chief about some ways to try and get whatever perks. I know they're small, but getting back to the attorney entrance for pro bono attorneys in the courthouse, so you're not waiting in line now that we're back to in live, maybe some priority scheduling of hearings, something to show a small token of our appreciation. But I hope that you realize when your names appear on these pleadings and when we see that you're engaged in these cases, it does not go unnoticed and it is definitely appreciated. I didn't really appreciate that until I took the bench and I understood the dynamics in some of these cases. And so retired ex-chief Judge Ron Figueroa, I won't paraphrase, he gave a speech up before the Florida Supreme Court that I watch frequently. I have a little snippet that I play at some of my pro bono presentations because I can't say it any better than he would say it. But his speech before the Florida Supreme Court made clear that pro bono attorneys level the playing field. And he talked about how nervous he was to be in that courtroom. Just imagine if you're someone who doesn't have any legal background or knowledge, you've got serious issues and you're dealing with all of that, maybe language, maybe education, maybe issues that you can't even understand what the implications are until you sat down with someone that can help you. It's more than leveling the playing field. Some of these individuals, as you know, don't know where the stadium is. You are holding their hands and you are not, at the end of the day, leaving them. You're staying with them. And so as chair, it's a very it's an ability for me to see the impact across the community that you provide, and I just cannot thank you enough for the service. So please take that. It's from all of the judges, and I can safely say, as I started, that I'm speaking for everyone, that we truly appreciate your assistance. So I, again, thank you for being here. I'm going to take my place in the audience and try and absorb as much as possible to bring that back to my 13th Judicial Circuit Pro Bono Committee. But the last thing I will say is I've also been involved in the Professionalism Committee, and I see now, kind of sitting on both of those committees, how important it is for some of the young attorneys in town to get their feet wet in some of these cases with, and I don't mean to demean it, but I call it bumper bowling sometimes, because you are setting up a mechanism for some of these young attorneys to get into an area of law they've never practiced, with the idea that you're going to be there, not looking over their shoulder, but guiding them along a path and giving them some excellent mentoring and advice. And you're really developing a lot of the younger attorneys and helping them along the way. So you've set forth with your efforts. You built a legacy that will continue for a long time in Hillsborough County, and I'm honored to be a part of it. And if I can help in any way, please know that my door's open. You can call me, reach out to me if you have any suggestions, anything we can do from our end to facilitate or make your jobs easier to continue doing what you're doing. I'm very receptive, and I hope you will reach out to me. But thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Thank you.